Well, hello, and I'm back again with another one. Per the neighborhood talk, wanted to bring this video to your attention, which explains a lot about people when they say, "Well, where's the father?" Well, they be right there, but they don't do nothing, and they might explain why the mama ain't there because sometimes they know their child ain't nothing either disrespectful and they can't do nothing with them. So the child feel like they can wreak havoc on the whole neighborhood, bullying everybody. So it's terrible. It says teen goes off on an elderly neighbor for telling him to stop playing near cars. So it goes on to say that the neighbor's a 15-year-old is going viral after confrontation with an elderly neighbor here. Now, the 15-year-old is that big husky one in that Heat jersey. Yeah, that's the 15-year-old that looks like a linebacker. With an elderly neighbor, it says, who asked him and other kids to stop playing near parked cars. The woman said the teen repeatedly asked which car belonged to her. And I wonder, why would you need to ask that anyway? Because what you're going to do, you're going to hit her car to then cause a reaction or something, or be a bully. But it says, but she explained that it didn't matter because she simply didn't want them playing around the cars, right? So the woman said the teen repeatedly asked which car belonged to her, but she explained that it didn't matter because she simply didn't want them playing around anyone's cars. That's when things quickly escalated, which I'm going to show you the video in a minute. The teen allegedly threatened to get his mother to beat her a. Before telling the woman he would curse her out. She fired back, letting him know she could curse right back. The teen later returned with his father in tow, but while the woman attempted to explain what happened, he became upset, the boy did, and dropped his belongings to the ground, appearing as though he was preparing to physically confront her. So while he's having in his terrible two tantrum at 15, having up there whining and screaming and being disrespectful to this woman, not knowing, she could have family members of men that could do harm to him, basically. And I'm willing to believe she does, and and she wouldn't be wrong for it. And it explains why us women, y'all need to get y'all's, please get your carries, your right to carry weapons, because they do not care. They don't have respect for you, most of them, because the way he's being brought up is what he's seen his father do, because his dad is just standing there letting him dictate the conversation while this grown woman is trying to speak to his dad, the grown man, which means the 15-year-old should really be standing off to the side in a 15-year-old's place, because the dad came there to confront her, not bring him into the fold. He already told his side of the story, we know, once he went to the house, because that's what brought the dad to her house, right? So then why do you feel like you need to put any more input into this situation that you caused? The woman told you to stay away from people's cars to save you the repercussions of, if you hit somebody's car, they don't be ready for you to pay for any damages that you allot to their vehicle. And I'm like one of those people. If somebody is telling you to stay off around the car, that's the neighborhood type, what you would call her the grandma or the matriarch of the neighborhood, that they always try to warn kids to help keep you out of trouble. But yeah, you have the hard-headed ones that don't care and don't respect you because this is their world and you just a squirrel in it, and what are you doing telling them what to do in the first place, right? But them not thinking and using their own cognizance to say to themselves, well, she's just trying to keep me out of trouble in case something happens. You never know. You hit the wrong person car and some YNs might run out that door and take you down. Now we having a going to Jesus moment for you, and you on the you got a pamphlet out there with your face on it with sunrise and sunset. So that's why she's really giving you this advice, because she probably been there for longer than you have and knows the area and just trying to help keep you out of trouble. But some people that don't have discipline, they don't see it as that. They see it as pretty much disrespect that you would even stop them and try to tell them anything of what to do of the sort. And so I'm going to play this video and let you see it with a little commentary in the middle. But I'm going to play it for you and let you hear how this went, because Lord have mercy. They talk about the moms, but this dad, he just stood by like he didn't know what to do.
I said you were being rude to him, and I was trying to figure out what was going on.
No, actually, your son was being rude to me. When I came out on my patio, they were playing some type of ball right there. And I came on my patio and I said, can y'all go play over there because y'all playing with that ball too close to people's cars? And he said,
I feel like by them having the adult conversation one-on-one, he shouldn't have even been there. He's making the littler kids leave, but he should be leaving too, because this conversation doesn't involve you. Because like I say, he already told his side to his dad. His dad first thing to say was, my son came to me to tell me that you was being rude to him. So that in turn sets the stage for where she's gonna tell her side of the story from what his son told her.
well, which one is your car? And I said, it doesn't matter which one is my car.
Her car? No, you didn't hit the car. Oh, I thought he did.
And then I said, it doesn't matter whose car.
See, they're playing now around about to hit somebody's car. Like they got to pause and look. Even in this moment, in the middle of this conversation, they're still being uncontrollable and not minding people's cars around them. Like, that basically lets you know what it was, even right there in that moment.
But you guys are playing too close to people's cars.
Like they doing.
And I said, all you have to do is go play in the grass right there with the ball. He said, well, I got a question. And I said, what's your question? Which one of these cars is yours? I said, it doesn't matter which car is mine. And then he said, you don't know who my mama is. Bitch, my mama will beat your ass. And then I said, well, then go get your mother so I can talk to your mother. He said, you don't even know who the fuck I am. That's exactly what he said. So I wasn't being rude. Now, my voice was raised, but I wasn't being rude until you said, I'll cuss you out. And I said, I'm going to cuss your ass back out.
No,
I don't like how you're talking to me. I don't like how you're talking to me, bro.
I'm explaining to him what I said to you.
You're talking to me like I don't like how you're talking to him.
This is my son.
That's why he should have walked back over there. He should have made his son leave, and then she wouldn't have had to let her remind him of what he said to her. And he's up there coddling his son from being held accountable and knowing that she's very much telling the truth. Because why are you being hostile? He should have left and kept going home instead of walking up there in the first place. Because this is not a conversation for him. The dad should have made him leave, because now he's trying to find a reason to be hostile with the lady now. Is what's looking like is happening. Because he don't care what she got to say. Somebody just was disrespectful to his son and tried to hold his child accountable, and he ain't like it.
I'm his son, but I trust me.
To you.
I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro.
See, that's what
You think I care about that?
So it's saying the boy's mom was on speakerphone, but you can't really hear it. And then they cut the video short. Like, the video is short. It don't matter where you go to try to get a longer version. This is the longest version that you're gonna find. But she's on the phone. Ain't no telling what.
Friends, I care about none of that shit.
Oh, so you can hear the mom on the phone telling him to go home. That's why the dad is pushing him off. And he throwing down the candy bag or whatever that is, like he's going to charge this woman. Now, if it was anybody like me, somebody else that has that permit to carry, you charging at me, and now you presenting yourself as a threat, and I need to go get something that's going to neutralize you. Because one thing I'm not going to do is fight a boy that look like he should be a linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers at this point.
Oh, what's wrong with you? Oh,
Listen.
what the hell?
And then it says, well, what y'all do? What I would have did is I would have just called the police at that point. She had to run in the house because the boy was challenging her. So that would end the conversation that we were even having like adults, because you let your son get hostile and blow up at this lady, and now he's feeling violent. So how is she supposed to feel now when she goes outside and sees your son and feels threatened, you know? So all I can say is, if she have any males in her family, they need to be at their house. They probably, I'm telling you, this boy has a future in either going to jail or somebody gonna do something to him because of his attitude. Because if this the only time you can show that you bad by being disrespectful to somebody's elder, then you're a coward in the first place. You're a bully and you're a coward. Because why do you need to disrespect this lady? And your mom is on the phone telling you to go home. Dad is pushing you off, trying to make you go home, and you still trying to approach her. Like, this is how the family most likely deals with all their situations. Just fight it out instead of talk it out is the best way to go, huh? And so, yeah. This is the video, and yeah, you guys just let me know what you think about this, because I have never in my life seen something so disrespectful. And the way that they dealt with this, the way that he handled it as a dad, like, dude, what are we doing here? So I don't know, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. So let me know what you think down below in the comments about this. How would you handle this? A 15-year-old boy disrespectful to your mom, and you got to see it on video camera. Thank God somebody had their Ring camera up to catch all of this. He didn't even care, y'all, that it was a video right there catching everything. He continued to be irate with her before and during this last shot of the video. So, yeah, obviously the laws must have been contacted because the video has been released to the public. So it must be in public record somehow. Something happened where law enforcement must have got involved, because unless the people, you own the rights to your own video, unless they reluctantly released it on Instagram for us to be able to put it up, then yeah. But what do you think if this was your elder grandmother, your mom, being bullied basically and threatened by a 15-year-old in his black jersey, that he's gonna do something to her, and then threw down the bottle and acted like he was gonna charge her, to the point where the dad had to get in the middle? After the mom and the mom's on speakerphone and the dad is trying to push him away to tell him to go home, he disregards their orders to go home and continues to be the big boy that he is. So that at that point, I lose respect for all of them involved, the mom, the dad, and that son. Because those little boys are looking at that and they are thinking this is the way that we're supposed to handle like situations like this, disagreements, and that is the reason why we have the problems that we have now with most of the youth. And dad has no control. He's not trying to take control. He was more interested in why she held his son accountable. And he got to see why in the beginning, because the big boy was trying to tell the little boys to stay off around the car, which is something they knew they wasn't supposed to be doing in the first place. And then he doesn't even ask the son, well, son, is it true? Did you disrespect her? Why would you ask where her car is? What are you planning on doing? Like, that had nothing to do with what she's trying to get across to you, to not play around the cars. So it's a whole lot that could be said, and I've said it. But there's more that could be said, which is why I asked you to comment down below in the comments and let me know what you guys think. And I'm going to be loading up videos, and I will see you guys in the very next one. Bye.